Hey everybody, this is Dr. Christensen, and I'm just attaching this video to your first discussion assignment, both to clarify what the assignment is and to go through the mechanics of actually doing the discussion assignments. There was a problem. The original link that had been attached to the first discussion assignment is broken, doesn't work anymore. So I had to shop around for a different set of links and also change the question a bit. So what I'd like to do now is simply go into the discussion, the first discussion, and give you some idea of what it is you're going to be doing. So if you just give me a second here, I will hopefully share the screen. Yeah, here we go. And okay, hopefully you can see me here. I don't know if you can or not. Let's see. All right, so what I'm going to do is put this on student view. Yeah, there. So this is more like what you see on your screen, I hope. Don't forget, by the way, to do your student introduction by the 17th. I absolutely need that for purposes of the census. The school is very, very strict on that. So please get that done as soon as you can. All right, so we go down here under Module 1 to the first discussion assignment. And it says race during the age of exploration. And I've got a few links here for you to read. The one just talks about the idea of race, what does race mean, etc., something about how it might have developed. And then there's a couple of links here. One deals with the attitude of the Spanish crown towards Native American peoples, the peoples that have been conquered in the wake of Cortez's conquest of Mexico. And the second one also deals with this issue of the exploitation of indigenous peoples and how that eventually might have morphed into racism. So basically, what we're looking at is this. During the early modern period, the modern period in European history starts around 1500 AD. During this early period, there was no concept really of race as a biological concept. Slavery had been widespread both in Europe as well as other parts of the world, but it wasn't based on race. And in fact, when initially the Portuguese, but then famously the Spanish, encountered people that were neither European nor Muslim nor Asian, when they encountered the people in the Americas, they didn't really have a concept for how to understand them. And so their initial treatment of these people was largely based on the issue of religion. They were seen as uh, pagans, basically. And so the Spanish would use religion as a means of trying to uh, uh, subdue these people, make them subservient to the Spanish, and of course use them for forced labor, things like that. Now, eventually, this early idea of race is going to morph into what we call biological racism. That takes place really in the 19th century, in the 1800s, and is very influential in terms of the development of the idea of race in the United States, specifically white people versus African Americans, and of course, Native Americans and other non-white groups. So what you're being asked to do here for this question is read over these links and then just respond to the question. So I'll read it for you. It would seem that the Spanish conquistadors and the Spanish crown were at odds over the issue of how to treat the natives. This means Native Americans in what is today Mexico. The Catholic Church also struggled to weaken the encomienda system so as to protect the natives from exploitation. Now, remember, the encomienda system is a system that developed right after the defeat of the Aztecs, and essentially the Spanish crown granted large areas of land to important people from Spain, mostly conquistadors, and these people could use the land as they saw fit, and they had control over all of the people living within that land. In essence, it was kind of a way of extending the feudal system in Europe to the Americas in a way. And the Catholic Church was at odds with this. They felt that the native people were being exploited, etc. So we have in our links here, one of the link is talks about the development of laws intended to protect the Native Americans from the conquistadors that was issued by the Spanish crown. These laws were only partially effective, but nevertheless, they represented some effort on the part of the king and queen of Spain at that time to protect what they saw as their new subjects. So after reading this and thinking about it and bearing in mind what you've read in your textbook, to what extent do you think that religion really did play a role in how the Spanish viewed Native people? Do we see any hints of the development of biological racism in their attitude? In other words, while they're viewing the Native American peoples in the Americas as pagans who need to be converted, is there any sense that they also see them as somehow inferior just as human beings? Because, of course, that is the very essence of what we mean by biological racism. So that's the question I want you to struggle with. And I'll tell you right now, there isn't a right or a wrong answer to this. Scholars will disagree on it. But I want you to try to struggle with the question and see what you think. Do you think religion was really as important as I'm making it out to be, or were there other factors involved? For instance, there is a famous saying about the conquistadors that they loved three things, that they were seeking three different things when they went to the Americas to conquer the land there. One was gold, the desire for riches. One was glory, which really means status for themselves to achieve great victories and thereby gain status back at home in Spain. And the third was the gospel, in other words, religion, and the feeling or the sense that they had based upon their growing up in a Catholic country and being indoctrinated into Catholic theology, that they had an obligation to convert those who were non-Christian. And remember, for the Spanish, non-Christian meant non-Catholic, because the Spanish were all Roman Catholic. Anyway, so I'm asking you to struggle with that question. Now, your essay, it's not an essay, your answer should be around 250 words or more. After you post your answer, what I need you to do is to go back periodically before the due date for the assignment, read over the postings of your classmates. Pick two of your classmates' postings and respond to what they have said. Now, each one of your responses should be, again, a paragraph or more in length. So if you're posting a response to George, then that response should be no shorter than a paragraph. It can be longer, right? Then if you post another response to Carol, for instance, so doing the same thing. So what we're trying to do here is start a discussion where you react to what your classmates have said and they react to what you have said. Now, just to give you a heads up here, as it says here, the answering of the discussion question, together with posting two responses to classmates, is the minimum number that's required. If you do just that, the most you can get for the assignment is a B grade. To get a higher grade, what you have to do is answer the question in at least a paragraph or longer, and respond to more than just the minimum of two of your classmates' postings. The more you post, the better. Now, to give you an upper limit on this, if you posted, let's say, responses to 6 of your classmates, that would be the most I would expect. You wouldn't be expected to do any more than that. So if you simply do the assignment, and follow the directions, you should be able to get a good score on the discussion assignment. Anyway, these are just some ideas that I had, things that I thought I should share with you. Also, I thought it might be a good idea for you to actually see who it is that's the instructor for the class, because the short videos that are attached to the various readings in the book, the person who you see in those lectures works for OpenStax. And so these lectures are intended to kind of go over the chapter that you've just read and highlight certain key things. but I didn't want you to think that that poor individual was actually me. So anyway, I'm the actual instructor for the class. Now, before I leave you, I just want to let you know that let me stop this. I will be posting introductions to each one of the discussion assignments and kind of going over them and trying to point out areas where I think you should guide your thinking towards. Hopefully that helps you to do the assignments. If you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me by sending me an email, whether it's a question on the assignments that are due, or you see something on the course website that you don't understand or you think is mistaken and something like that, or if there's something in the book that seems unclear to you, or you'd like to have a more expansive explanation of what the book is trying to say, again, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. So until next time, I look forward to grading your assignments, and I want to wish you all a very good afternoon.